Very good evening to all of you, and I'm very happy that we are discussing about stack application. Stack application is a very important concern for all of us, and let's take a look what we need to do, talk about it. As you know, stack actually is a list, and it's basically you have first in, last out kind of. We generally say that the last in, first out, LIFO data structure. It's a linear data structure, and you can insert. See, the insert and deletion can be performed from one position. That means we basically have, remember we talked about two operations. We call push, means we want to insert a data in the stack, or pop, we want to take the data out of the stack. So we basically have this understanding, and we have done it very nicely before midterm exam. So you take a look here that insert has push and pop operations, and if I take you further to talk about its application, the data structure has different functions. You can have push operations, you can have pop operations, you can have clear, you can have top, you can have top and pop operations, and different operations. But practically when we talk about is a simple example of operations. We are pushing different character and we are popping different character time to time. And you can see here when I'm creating a stack, there is a pointer allocating a space, and after that you push. The first item A is at the bottom of the stack, and then the next item comes into the next AB, and then the third item gets it here. So you have basically three items inserted. Now you want to get to the top of the stack. You got the top of the stack is C, and then you pop. You get first C out, and then you get your C is out, and then you go into the pop operations further. So what happens, we can actually implement this stack using linked list kind of construction. But as you see what happens here in the linked list, you basically have a pointer first of all, and then pointer is pointing. This is the top of the stack. The first item we generally say actually is the top of the stack, and gradually we insert different items. So talking about applications, we have various types of applications. One common application is the processing. We talked about infix, prefix, and postfix operations, but other application of stacks are like line editing, you have bracket matching, postfix calculation, function called stacks, and so on. So take a look at some of the application here. Line editor, you see, line editing is something like we are typing something, input characters, we are deleting some characters. So the output is generated, and every character is actually getting into the stack, and then when you actually take out, you get out all characters one by one. So you may have read in a line, you correct, and you can see here there are different tasks we are doing here. And talking about the procedure call, what you do, how you do it, you initialize an empty stack, and then for each character you read, you do understand if there is a backspace, you pop. Like you remember, we talked about how we convert an infix expression into postfix using a stack. Exactly that way we do it. So you have basically inputs coming into one after the other, and you can see here the corrected inputs. You remove that, you remove this, and then you are correcting these two. So automatically the corrected inputs are coming, and when you take the reverse output, it's actually the other way around. Bracket matching is another problem, like it's basically a pair of bracket. You want to understand whether the bracket is complete or not. For example, you are writing an expression, and you see, look at these expressions here. These expressions, you can see clearly that there is a bracketed terms, and you want to understand that whether the bracket is complete or not. So see how it is happening here. We have this bracket, you can see the brackets are there connected, the different brackets are there. So, but there are bad examples also. You can see that brackets are too many open brackets and closing brackets here, and these are actually problematic cases. So we can actually apply this stack to understand the completion of an expression. So this is a informal procedure is what you do here. You clear read and then take the open bracket, then push into the stack and then wait till the close bracket comes and then remove the return items. You can see here, see how we are doing it, yeah? And then you take out this and then take out finally this. So what happens, you can easily understand, stack must be empty at last. So if the stack is not empty, that indicates that yes, you have a problem in the expression. Alright, so you understand now. Postfix calculator is also that you have different operators. You can see I have shown you three things here. One is the infix. You can see this is the infix operation and then it gets converted into postfix. Postfix means all the operators you are actually following the bracket that you are preceding, preceding bracket. So automatically you get this postfix, but as you know what we do, we parenthesize and then move the operators either to the left for postfix or to the right for the to the left for the prefix and to the right for the postfix. So you have two operations here. You can see postfix operations and you can see here how it happens. You read and then push onto the stack, then pop the argument, perform operation and push the result into the stack. You see how it happens. We have 2, 3, 4 and then plus and then multiplication. So what is happening is this. You can see intermediate operations. I show you here. You push, fine, and then push again, okay, fine, then push again, fine. You have a operator coming. So when the operator is coming, you pop again, pop these two and then add them. So you are adding, it becomes 7. And finally you push them into, you have the last is the multiply, so you are multiplying them, and finally the stack contains the result, which is 14. So you understand that how we actually evaluate a postfix expression. It is a postfix expression. On this side you have actually a postfix expression, and this postfix expression we are actually evaluating using a stack. So this is something very important for the final. You keep this in the mind, okay?